So one of the things we want to talk about today, Coach, is obviously this team this year, what it's going to look like. I know you've had them for a while in practices and obviously in the summer. Give us a glimpse on what you're seeing so far in your practices and what's making you positive for the season.
I think right off the bat, we are growing as a team every day. Our intensity at practice is outstanding. We look at the different challenges we can place our athletes in every day, whether it's conditioning, physicality, or into their mental toughness, their mental fortitude. Challenging moments where they can grow, learn from it. Also, know that each one of them can bring value to the team. Their matters, and that they actually, care about one another and they're taking care of each other. And that's how the team goes. One person is there to help another player, and then from there it's a ripple effect. And that type of attitude and effort is something that they pride themselves on day in and day out, and collectively coming together to be a competitive basketball program.
You talk about team chemistry. We know that's so important. What kind of ways have you tried to build that?
Team chemistry is, through different, challenges throughout the practices is, that it's team oriented. If we have goals to hit, we're trying to hit them as a team. But then also, I think the competitive fierceness against one another at times is great because they can learn how to grow together in that sense as well. And then, respect each other's game and what each other can bring to. We talk a lot about just the idea of, allowing each athlete to have their strengths and how those strengths can contribute to the overall team success, and then benefit from one another in that sense, and they build that. So we do a lot of things that are team oriented, team goals throughout practice, and that allows our athletes to say, hey, we got to achieve this together. And I think that is a huge asset throughout the season, because it's an up and down season. Basketball is an emotional game, and allows our athletes to gain that type of in-game experience, through practice, and putting them through situations that are, trying. And we call it get tough moments. And they respond to that. So we have the right girls that are in the gym right this year. I think our attitude and effort is at its epitome right now. It's one of our strongest things that I've seen, qualities I've seen throughout the last 6 years as being Lady Indians basketball head coach. Their chemistry is outstanding, and that's a great thing to do. And it's credit to our coaching staff. I think we have a great coaching staff, and credit to the two leaders that we have. We have two leaders that are two seniors, and Josie Stanley and Ashley Schroeds, that were at freshmen. They were thrown into the fire. And both of them were outstanding young ladies at that time, very cerebral, and they were able to contribute as freshmen big. And then now that they are respected seniors, and that's something big for our younger ones to kind of look up to. So it builds chemistry having those type of leaders. And your best teams are teams that have great leaders on it. We pride ourselves on not just having those two, but then have the rest of the team growing to be great leaders.
You shouted out those two seniors. Let's go through the rest of your roster, have kind of a meet the team segment, call out the names that are going to be so big for Southern Local this year.
You want to start out with, I believe that we have collectively the best, freshman group that I've seen in the program, as an athletic group, as a group with attitude and effort. A group that's willing to learn, a group that's willing to be challenged, accept constructive criticism from the coaching staff. And with that group, it's a group of 6 freshmen, and one, it would be 7 total, but one is not able to play this year. But that group, I think, as collectively, we've had great freshmen, throughout the program that have come in and done stellar things. Ashley and Josie didn't mention, but this collective group, I feel like, can be a great news to what we need to, throughout the season as, players that are going to step in, starting with, Rayleigh Caracello, a great athlete as a freshman coming in. You have Haley Maines, who is, wants to follow, footsteps like Ashley has done with, the extra effort put in, just, into the weight room, or just anything that you offer that is extra. You're looking at Riley Digman, as another freshman that is offering a great voice and a leadership role as a freshman. You go into you're taking care of Addison Martin, who is a great slasher to the bucket and can handle the ball. To Sarah Hawk, who played last year as a freshman, played last year in junior high, and now this year I see her progressing. She's one of our most improved players, from last year. Ava Reed is a tenacious defensive player. You're looking at Lydia Spollinger. She's got a wrestling background, real tough and physical. So all those components add into a great team. So you take their strengths as freshmen. We're not looking for them to do huge and spectacular things right away, but can they take their strengths and add value varsity program. And that's what I believe that they can do, all outstanding. And then our last is not able to play. Her name's Josie Richards, played a great job in the summer. Part of how our program has progressed is, the summer investment, which, team camps from just doing individual drills throughout the entire summer. I mean, she was one of them, but, the unfortunate nature through competitive sports is that, sometimes ball players can't play and they get injured and have to, do what's necessary to get back. So that freshman group is collectively, like I said, one of the most athletic and skilled, freshman groups that we've ever had coming in. And I think that they can definitely contribute to varsity basketball. You go into the sophomores that we have, and I feel like our 3 sophomores are, truly some of the best in the league. And they all bring their own special quality. You can start off with Alyssa Schroeds. Last year, Alyssa was a sharpshooter as a freshman, played outstanding defense on ball. But she was able to have the it factor and break a record at the school, shooting 8 threes and knocking down 8 threes in one game, and having a laser in focus to be able to do that as a freshman is tremendous. She'll do a great job handling the ball this year and continue being a great leader. McKenna Jones is absolutely one of the fiercest competitors I've coached. She gets up and down the floor. She's first to the floor. She's going to be someone who's going to go after every loose ball, 50-50 ball, play outstanding defense, and just be a great teammate and also handle the ball for us. And then we had a ball player last year who wasn't able to play through injury, and Haley Kellogg, and she is an enforcer, a great leader, an outstanding teammate, has a strong voice, and you follow those type of people. She's a great shooter, and she's finding a way to get back into the game of basketball. With her 3 sophomores that are her 2 sophomores that are right with her. All those elements make for a great basketball team, and then you put all that stuff together, and then that's where you come into play. And I think that's how you build a team. Not everyone's going to be a Michael Jordan. Not everyone's going to be, a Dennis Rodman, or not everyone's going to be the big post player. I mean, everyone's got to bring in their characteristics, and then you mold that, into a great team where everyone knows that they got to contribute value to the team.
I do want to bring up Ashley Schroeds real quick because she's probably going to be one of the biggest names on the YSN family this year. She does a lot of special things, already has all the career accolades you could possibly want out of a career. What do you think she's done this year to even elevate her game even more, as scary as that might be for the teams that play you?
Well, Ashley Schroeds is a very special athlete. She's completely built different. And that's one of her key characteristics and who she is. She's probably one of the most relentless athletes I've ever seen in person. She's an everydayer. There's not a moment that she's not in the fitness center strength training. Prior to even the night before a volleyball game, she'll go in there and and the results are a 28-inch vertical to where she's deadlifting. She'll deadlift and do a leg workout prior to a volleyball game and go in and be a powerful hitter. She's just a special, talented athlete. Also perfecting, everywhere on the floor is her spot. So she's gonna find any spot that she wants, and that's the work that she's put in. That's just not something that she just talks about. If you would come in and see her, she's using that entire floor, and she's attention to detail. She is going to rep and get her shots in. And someone that is every day in the gym. And it's just, that's just the way it is. She played basketball in the spring almost every day. Her AAU circuit was tremendous. In the summer, she does not miss a day. And that's pride to who she is. And the results show because, she's, closing in on a 2,000 point career. She's, 100 points away from being the school scoring, leader for her entire career. But her relentlessness to chase after every basketball and rebound is unbelievable. She's 5'4", and with her strength training and her ability to to just want the ball more than other players, and that relentless mindset that's why she's getting as many possessions as she possibly can. But that's who she is. That's her competitive nature. I always say that when you talk to people, you don't get to see a player that that reminds you of someone like Jordan or Kobe Bryant that just has a different edge to them because of the investment and the seriousness and the relentless focus that they have. It's just a different mindset, and she's a very special athlete in that sense. But with all that tenacity that she is probably by far one of the best teammates that you could possibly have as well. Her tenacious ability on the floor is just a part of it. She'll also be an athlete who's tenacious and relentless to be a teammate, to pick somebody up, to coach them up, and just show them, that she's there for them. So, I mean, you can't get a better young lady. I think that she had an opportunity to play now in 2 seasons of not 2 seasons, but 2 games where, or 2 kind of like little trips where she went to the Chicago Tournament of Champions, where you see, how great girls basketball has become, and just the different edge that's become in our, in the world right now. And it's huge right now, especially the NCAA and WNBA. And you go to that Tournament of Champions, that opens your eyes up to how many actually trying to be extremely special in the game of basketball. And she was able to play there and excel. She had a couple big time games against teams that were, one I think it was from Switzerland that we played against. And she was knocking down 2 of the biggest threes of her career. So building that clutch moment, but also knowing that, she's going to be facing every bit of adversity. And, and that's just the nature of it. So she accepts that. And I believe that's what, part of her challenge. But she knows with this team, even with our 6 nucleus of freshmen and 3 sophomores and her counterpart, which we could speak more on her too in a second. Yeah. She knows that she doesn't have to do it all on her own. She has great teammates to support her, support who she is, support her tenacity and relentless nature. And then understand that she's going to put points up, but also fill in the gaps. That she has teammates that are going to do that for her this year. And that's a huge thing where she knows that she's got a great team around her.
Coach, let's talk about your schedule. Obviously, the EOAC, we'll start with that. It's going to be a tough league to play in. It always is. What do you see out of the conference this year, and how do you see these teams competing with each other?
I believe the EOAC, no night is ever easy. There's not an easy night within there. I think, the teams can come in there. You've seen, great games where, big time teams are, running hot, and then a team will come in and face, another team in the EOAC, and then, that team's coming out and playing. So it's not easy league to play in. And it's, to me, it's super competitive. I think we have, an outstanding group of coaches and the coaching staffs that are in the EOAC. It makes for great competitive basketball. To me, until United is knocked off, they are the champions, and and that's what you have to accept, and that's your fuel for your fire, and credit to them, because if they continue to win, that's the team that you have to you have to overcome, you have to outwork, and you give them their props because they've achieved that. Columbiana is still competitive, but I think every team in our league is going to be competitive. And I believe that that's why it's not ever an easy night in the UAC. I think that every team that you run through, you go with Columbiana, Lisbon, East Palestine, Wellsville, Valley Christian, they can all give you, problems every night. And your job as competitors is to, to find a way to figure things out as a team and to overcome that. So I feel like, our EOAC and even, the YSN coverage of the entire, teams that are in the, we have a great group of teams that, build for great girls basketball.
The EOAC is going to be tough enough, but we know that you also test yourself outside of the conference. Who are some teams outside of that EOAC that you're really excited to go up against?
Right now, out of the, we are looking at Wheeling Central. That is a team that we just added to our league. Or not to our league, but to our schedule. You're looking at the next squad, which was Liverpool. East Liverpool's growing better every year. We've seen him throughout the summer, and credit to Coach Reed and what he's doing with some of the girls that he's got, and their buy-in. I think they'll be tough in our out of league. We added on Sandy Valley, which I think has some younger ball players coming up through, and we've been playing a Frontier, an OVAC map, which OVAC basketball is physical and tough, and just it can be for, great things, in that OVAC when we're playing in that tournament. And that they don't back off from anything. And it's a physical brand of basketball down that river. And we play Frontier. We'll get them again at 3rd place. So out of the league, we're looking at some of those, great matchups that we need tested. I said last night in the Meet the Indians that, part of our growth as a team is to face adversity, to face challenges. And how do we through character and who we are characteristic and how we're built, how do we respond to that? And, there's going to be a W and an L on that scoreboard every night. And that's just the nature of competitive sports. But, how do you respond to that? How do you use moments to grow? And how do you build yourself for the tournament? How do you build a solid run in the league? And then you also, you want to build great characteristics out of these young ladies because they're student athletes that are entering into the world at some point as young adults. And, sports teaches you is one of the best tools to teach you how to face adversity and to show character through that. And I think that that's one of our pillars of what we want to represent this year as Lady Indians basketball.
Coach, we understand that the coaches get the limelight, they get the interviews, they get the credit, and sometimes, unfortunately, the blame, whether it's earned or not. But you have a great staff that's working for you. You're a collective group of people trying to make this basketball program what it is. I want to give you the time to highlight your staff and the people you have working with you.
We have on our staff. I have one of the. We have Indians on our staff, which is no discredit to anybody else who come into the coach, but we have we brought in some great people because they care and they love to be Southern local Indians, and they have a pride to that. Starting off with my JV coach and Coach Witherow, he's loyal. He played within the program. He's actually someone I looked up to when I was in school and played tenacious defense. We brought on this year Jake Boyle. Jake Boyle was is a Hall of Famer at Southern local. His brother Corey Boyle, him and Jake have been coaching our youth and doing a great job in the AAU circuit with our younger athletes. Those two are two Hall of Famers. And then you bring in their dad, Mike Boyle, who's an assistant coach on a junior high and also help out at the high school. These are all Southern local Indians that have developed the program both in boys and now in girls, and they have a special interest in that. I also have a young man that I coach in football, but he was someone who's coached with me on the staff before, and now he came back this year, Christopher Ingledew. He's another one, just a great Indian, great positive asset, and the girls can look up to that, and they take pride in that. And then, my other junior high coach is Nikki Kellogg. She runs our boosters, but these people like Nikki, they also model the qualities that we want to as ball players, the work ethic, the attitude, the effort, those type of things, how you represent yourself, the character and who you are. So our coaches on our coaching staff model that for them every day, and our athletes gravitate towards that. So that's just a door right there. If you're going to have coaches that model those qualities that you want to display on the floor, the fierceness, the physicality, the tough-nosed coaching, the constructive criticism, those are all elements of growth that you have to have, and you got to have hard-nosed, tough coaches, and our coaches represent that. So an outstanding coaching staff.
Coach, one of the things that we also are doing on every coach's interview this year, it's kind of a theme, if you will, of our season previews. We're asking about the love of the sport. We love it because we broadcast it. You obviously love it because you're coaching it, and your players also love it because they're putting in the time to play the sport. When you talk about your love of the game, where did it start? What are some of your first memories falling in love with basketball?
Falling in love with basketball, just sports in general. My mother and my father, the people is my why. I honor them, in my actions, and I try to do my best to do that day in, day out, because they put me on a foundation. They put me on a platform to be able to do so. My parents traveled all over the place, was able to have the funds to be able to put me through camps, youth leagues, and that's where the love came in. And both my parents are super competitive, so that was instilled inside of me at a young age. And I grew up in the era of Michael Jordan, and some people, will have that argument of who's the greatest. And I watched Michael Jordan play, and I remember my parents, grabbing, getting me a poster of Michael Jordan. I plastered that on my wall. It's something I looked at every day, and I just wanted to be like Michael Jordan, wanted to be that fierce competitor. And that's where the game, you watch him play in the playoffs, and you watch him, come, 3 years play three championships, take some time off, go through adversity, and then come back and play 3 more years and win, 3 more championships and be part of some of the best teams. And that was the era that I grew up in. I can remember watching those games on TV, and my parents helped contribute to that because they exposed me to that basketball sense. And with just all youth sports that they put me through. My dad was my coach in junior high, hard nosed, tough on me. And my mom was right there, always in the stands, and she would not let me settle for being my absolute best every day. So to have parents like that to hold you to a high standard and to have expectations, that instills your love for sports, and your love for what you do, your work ethic. So that's my why.
Coach, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We appreciate the preview of Southern girls basketball. We know we look forward to covering you guys all year, and we can't wait to talk to you real soon.
Can I get one more thing in? I didn't get a chance,
Coach.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to. I have 2 great seniors, and and Ashley Schroeds is, and she knows this, and she'll say this. She came in with Josie Stanley as a freshman. This young lady was injured last year towards the end of our season, and that was detrimental to us. She has one of the best basketball IQs that I've ever seen. And she, in a way, her stat line is not overwhelming on each night, but the impact that she has both offensively and defensively for our team's success has been tremendous. I feel that, what she's done in the offseason to get herself in great physical shape to improve her shot, I feel like she's going to be in our league the best post player. That's my belief on her, and I feel like she's put the work in to do that. While Ashley's over there playing volleyball, you got Josie Stanley staying until 8:45, cheering Ashley on, but also going over on the other side of the gym and getting shots in, working on her footwork, working in the fitness center. That's what I take a lot of pride in, that extra effort that you put in to wanting to achieve greatness. And Josie Stanley as our center, as our player in the middle. She's gonna show a ton of highlight this year. And again, her stat line not be always great. She's surrounded by some great teammates, and she impacts the game, and her leadership. And I believe, but her ability to shoot the basketball at her position at the center is going to be something that's going to be, a great showcase this year. So collectively, as a team, with those two leaders and the ball players around them, it's a special unit. But competitive sports is something that builds this, and we've gotten to that point. The Southern Local Lady Indians, just 3 or 4 years ago was winning 2 games, 1 game, 5 games. And now, these 2 seniors that has been with us, they've won 17. They've got a sectional championship that hasn't been done in 20 years. So credit to, those girls who really bought into the program and said that, that they wanted to put max effort. We now have a summer program. We have a youth program. That's because of the investment from Ashley Schroeds and Josie Stanley, both of them. I mean, I can't say any more about them. That's another reason why I do what I do, is because you have moments like that. We've seen these two do great things. So I do appreciate your time and allow me to squeeze that in there.